Today we are going to have a look at AntiX, is pronounced AntiX according to the gentleman on the video here, and being that this is their official website, I assume this is a developer or at least somebody who is more familiar with the project than I am. So they pronounce it, of course, AntiX, and so that's what I will say. This is a first look. I have installed this into a VirtualBox. I have done nothing else with this. So if you're like really into this and you're all familiar with it, then you're probably going to think I'm a noob, because I am at this distro. But I wanted to pull it out just because they have a new edition out. I think it was released today or sometime earlier this week anyway. It's based on the most recent stable Debian branch. And what's kind of cool about it is it's super lightweight, has multiple window managers, and of course is based on Debian stable. So that's kind of why I wanted to show it. It's also really designed as something that you can also run off of a live key with a persistent volume. So kind of like you can think Puppy Linux. This would be a good Puppy Linux thing, which will allow multiple different window managers, and according to the developers here, a whole lot more features. And just in the brief moment I was poking through it, I actually kind of agree. It's actually pretty cool. Head over to the download page and you can get 32 and 64-bit versions. You have the full, which has all of the different window managers. You have a base in here. You have a core and you have a net installer. So there's options for anybody. There's a series of mirrors which will take you to torrent download versions. There is a forum over here, and then you can get information here about AntiX. Of course, the biggest selling point, the real thing that separates us out from many other distros, this is a Debian stable that is not running systemd. If you hate systemd and you're looking for a good Linux distro, this is it. Me, I don't really care. I don't get into all of the nitty-gritties. I just need a system that works that I don't have to put a ton of time into. That being said, I think just based on my initial thoughts, this is one you might need to put a little bit more time into it in some instances. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's a really cool option. This is a cool distro that you might have. You might have a few distros on a keychain that, you know, if you're out at a buddy's house and you need to check your email, rather than using their computer and, you know, putting your own authentication, you could literally plug in a live key, boot your friend's computer into your system, and then you would be running everything off of your computer. So that's an advantage of this. Of course, other distros, you can do that with, like Tails, anything that supports a good live key with a with a persistent volume, and this one does. This is also a super lightweight distro. It takes, I think it was running on like 100 or so megabytes of RAM when I booted this up into my VirtualBox. Excuse me. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and start up my VirtualBox, and then we will jump in and have a look at this system here. All right, so we are starting this guy up. For those running in a VirtualBox, it does not have guest editions installed. I'm sure I could probably install them. I generally don't install them for the purposes of these videos. Now, the cool thing I liked about this is you can change the Windows managers on the fly. So here we are booted into the system. I believe that you can use the desktop. I don't know, maybe not. But anyway, you can see over here that it's running, let's see, it's running 118 megabytes of RAM. So this guy here, and only 2.75 gigabytes of storage space. And this is the full system here. And so what we are doing here was we're just going to go ahead and have a quick look. So down in your menu here, and this one is, which is desktop? I think this is the ICE Windows Manager is the desktop we're using here. And again, you can change several different desktop managers. This one here has your nice traditional menu, a taskbar down. Let's boot up a web browser here. Let's see what that guy looks like. There we are. So you can see we have a basic taskbar. We have a Firefox browser opening up. So it's has every bit of moderniness that you might need. Of course, you can see here that Firefox is taking 3 times as much RAM as the system does. So close that out, it'll drop back down. You can also right-click, and over here you can actually access anything in the applications. These right-click menus are pretty nice. I really first got used to using these when I was running my OpenSUSE on Enlightenment, which is a very nice option. What I don't see is the ability to come in here and just create new files and things on the desktop. There's a variety of themes in here that I didn't even have a chance to look at. Let's just go ahead and change some of these around. That's cool. I like that. That's nice. So you can just right-click here and look at your themes. Now, the other thing you can do is you can come over here into Desktop and Other Desktops, and then you can actually choose from a variety of different Windows managers. So here's the Fluxbox. So this one here, it will, and these windows here, I am not nearly as familiar with running systems in these types of environments. I generally like to prefer your more current systems, but for those power users or the users that really need something lightweight, or people looking for something completely different, this is pretty awesome. And the fact we have a different system manager or a different system initialization setup is a big benefit for some people. A lot of people don't like System D. Like I said, I'm not all that concerned about it. But here we do have the option with, it is just installed with a lot of nice accessories. We have a variety of different text editors. We have the full LibreOffice suite is installed, a few different games. The other thing that you actually have is, as far as your adding your, if you happen to have a Broadcom modem, for example, we have a Broadcom manager. This is a big deal in the Linux world because oftentimes we have difficulties with Broadcom modems. So you have that. We have a codecs installer. If you want to install various codecs, you can do that. There is an advertiser blocker that is built in and I believe already configured. Here's an NVIDIA driver installer if that would apply to you. We have Synaptic Package Manager here already installed. So there is just a lot of things in here. As overall, I really like this system in that it has a whole lot of nice features to it. It is very robust. Yeah, this one here is nice. This one here we're actually working directly off the desktop as well. Let's see what we got here. This desktop manager does not have a right click. That might drive you crazy. I guess one of the things I'm not a huge fan of is they're using the same or a similar icon set as those used in Linux Mint by default, which are not actually my favorite icons. But that's okay. I will never fault a distro for the icons it chooses to use. I can either change them or whatever else. But you can choose a lot of different desktops, and that's the kind of the cool part about it is you have a lot of variety. So here we are. This guy here, we have our menu back. This is our right-click menu. So overall, pretty cool. Let's have a look at the applications. All right. There's a nice search bar. And then a lot of different system tools in here. So boot repairs and things. So it is a very nice system for throwing on a live key, just kind of keeping things around. Very nice system here. All right, let's see. Let's boot up that terminal. All right, well, this is a Debian distro, so I should know the terminal. Not used to the name being up above it. Let's do sudo nano etc hosts. So you can see what the these are all added automatically by the advertiser blocker. So that's actually pretty cool. Actually, you know what? That's something we should do. Let's go ahead and have a look at the. Let's boot up a site that probably has a lot of ads on it. Let's see what we can find. And I'm just gonna have a. Oh, come on, back to the terminal. All right. So this is kind of cool that they have a advertiser blocker already built in. That's actually pretty sweet. I like the terminal. The terminal colors are pretty cool. Let's see. You know what? Let's do Wall Street Journal. I hate this website because they're full of ads all over the place. I spelled that wrong, didn't I? Let's see what happens when I go to the Wall Street Journal. Oh, look at that. I can get in without it saying, you're using an ad blocker. Yeah, you need to go through our paywall first. That's kind of neat. Look at that. So it looks like their advertiser blocker actually is doing a pretty decent job of blocking the various advertisers and stuff. That's good to know. All right. Let's see. What else can I do? Let's go to Google because I believe that they do some ads. Let's search for something cool. Actually, did you guys know? Let's see. What is it? What's the Is it? That's not Breakthrough. I was trying to remember some of the Google things. Let's see. Let's just search for something cool. All right. So yeah, we're not getting. Let's see. Getting a lot of ads there. All right. That's not too bad. All right. So the ad blocker seems to be good. Let's see if we can find the settings for the ad blocker. I believe it is in the. Well, let's see the control center real quick. Hey, I didn't check out the control center. There you go. All right. So here you can set your fonts. Okay. There you go. So if you are looking for a distro that you can change your fonts around, you can easily change your fonts over here. Let's bump that up a little bit higher. I know somebody had said one of the challenges with doing distro reviews is the fonts aren't big enough. So let's go ahead and just bump that up a little bit. So that's cool. All right. Yeah, let's close that. We're going to go ahead and keep that. Of course, it's a little painful with the size of my system here, but that's perfectly okay. Choosing wallpaper. Here's my... Okay, we have random wallpapers. We have timed wallpapers. Let's see if I can find... One of the downsides is this guy's hard to grab the corners and drag. Hey, look at that. Tux Kids. Ooh, that's cool. Let's apply that one. Let's see what that one looks like real quick. I like that. That's cool. That's cool wallpaper. All right. Let's see. Let's close that. Let's go back up here. Here's Windows Manager settings. So I'd have to look into how to make any edits to some of these guys here. Change the icons and themes. Okay, here we go. So if you did not like the icons and themes, you can change them over here. That's kind of an old Windows 95 type look. Let's go with that one. There's that. There's your colors. Here's your icon availability. Okay, so you can, it looks like you can download an icon pack and just install it just from there. That's actually pretty nice. If you download an icon pack, you can go ahead and do that. Ooh, I want to try those out. Let's look at those simple gray icons. All right, mouse cursors. It looks like it's not applying the font and the cursor changes right away. Oh, okay. It looks like it might be. It might. I just might need to get out of there. I'm just trying to see what we have available here. All right, so it did give us those changes. So here's how to change the GTK2 icons and themes. Here's fluid box settings and your preferred applications. So your terminal. looks like you just want to select it from the list. Like I said, if you don't know as much about the internal workings of Linux, this might be a harder system to use. But if you are familiar with what all these different things are and how to select different applications and things, then this is actually a pretty nice system, because it is certainly a desktop that will get out of your way. You can use the Windows Manager you want, etc. So that's kind of cool. So let's go ahead and keep that like that. So that's a pretty nice setup there. Now let's go here with, I'm just going to see if I can find the, advertisement blocker. I know I saw it earlier. Control center, themes, let's see. Okay. Well, if nothing else, you guys get a chance to see what all is installed in here by default. There you go. There's the advertiser blocker. I do want to proceed, but I'm thinking that my window size is pushing a button out of the way because I can't see any more of the screen. This is a downside of adjusting the fonts, because it says, do I want to proceed? And I can't get down beneath that. So I think what I might have to do is drop the font size back down. So sorry about that, but I am going to have to drop the font size back down so that I can actually... maybe. I still can't get to the bottom of this thing. I can't move it down either, so I can't actually get in there and move beyond that. Let me just try OK. No, alright. Well, it was a good attempt. Part of that's probably just because the fact that we're in a virtual box. There we are. Now I can get into there. Okay, so now you can pick the services that you want. And then so you just kind of click on these guys here, and that will import those lists. And what this is going to do is it's going to drop everything directly into your hosts file. So you can see your host file. You need to restart the browser to see any effects. Go ahead and go back there, and then you can see here that it's putting in all of these IPs and all of the other information here from all those different services. And actually that was set by default already, so you didn't actually have to run through that system to actually view that. All right, so here we've just had a quick look at AntiX. Pretty nice, very, very lightweight system. A lot of flexibility in what it looks like as far as your Windows managers. Customizability is pretty cool. Overall, I think I like this. If I were, building up a super light new system, I would probably run this. And I don't know, maybe I might think of putting together a system like this to run on a live key, to throw in a keychain. That would be a really cool use for this system, and that way I could have access to, passwords and things like that. Of course, I'd probably want to install it in that case on an encrypted thumb drive. That'd be a cool way to run it. But regardless, I think if you took this guy here, put it on a persistent drive on a thumb drive, I think that you could very easily get a distro that you could take to any computer. You could work it out pretty well. Out of the box, it could work, and that way I would have the ability to have my own computer with me wherever I'm at, even if I'm at a friend's house or something. Very nice system. Enough functionality. You know what we didn't do? Let's go ahead and look at some installation. So let me just do some sudo apt install. I'm just going to try and install things like Chromium. See if that works. Unable to locate package Chromium. I saw it in the list. Did I have that incorrectly? Let's try Kodi. Let's try updating the system. Because I know both of those are in the package installer. I saw those in there. So let's go ahead and upgrade the system, and then you'll have to play with this one a little bit more. So okay, so there's various workspaces. I love how it's workspace alpha, workspace beta. That's pretty sweet. I like that. All right, now let's see if I can install Chromium. Hey, there we are. Yeah, that was a problem. I didn't update my package sources. Always update your package sources if you're not quite sure about that. Of course, I'm used to these modern-day Linux systems that does it all for you automatically. It looks like the terminal is going to install. I'm not sure I'm going to wait around another 3 minutes for Chromium to finish installing. All right. Well, anyway, that is AntiX. Very nice distro. I like it. I can say if you're up for a fun challenge of using a Linux distro that is super lightweight, this is certainly a good one for you. So thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.